Hello dear viewers, Lorenzo here with episode 16, or was it 17? Anyway, the next one of KSP Contracting, in which I fly the craft you build. Now I'm recording this episode straight after the previous one, so if you have built and submitted something after watching that episode, apologies, I have not yet received it. We are today fast forwarding time, of course, by 60 days. Let's do that immediately. So we are here in year 2, day 60, well day 53 actually, so not quite there yet. Day 60 now, and now of course we need a new asteroid. This one isn't an asteroid, this one is an asteroid. Let's track it. And this is uninteresting, it doesn't intersect our sphere of influence this year, so we're going to immediately untrack it. Right, so what do I have for you today? As I said, no new vessels, but we want some more science, preferably to unlock some RAM intakes for aircraft or well, nuclear engine for more interesting interplanetary adventures. For this purpose we are going to take the EFS Peregrine out for a spin. This was built by Adam Chislicki quite a while ago, but it has been sitting faithfully in storage, so it can now be used with Sigas Kerman, one of the stars from the first couple of episodes. So let's wheel that out to the launch pad. And where are we going, you might ask? We are going to Minmus. Because it has the lowest delta V requirement of all celestial bodies, and I don't know the delta V in this rocket, so we're going to punch that up to speed quickly, and then hopefully I can recover and retrieve some science from Minmus. We have a material base here, we have of course Sigas that can do readings himself, and is that even a thermometer here? I don't know what that is. Is that a graphical artifact, or oh, that's the Kerbal logo. That's not a thermometer. Never mind. Anyway, here we are launching the Peregrine. It lifts off rather slowly indeed. Anyway, this should be a bog standard launch, so you will get it in probably familiar abbreviated form, where we wait until the first separation of tanks, which happens now, and then nothing more interesting should happen until we get to the point where we do our 10-kilometer pitch over maneuver. Now we don't have that much speed yet, we're still very much subsonic, so I'm not going to make the pitch over too aggressive, because that might cause us to just plummet down to the ground again. We don't want that, we want instead to keep burning upwards until the last outer tanks run out, which should be any second now, at which point we can separate them and continue our cruise into orbit. There they go. And the final thing that awaits us to do now, well, that's a stellar sentence again. No, the last task we have before us is merely final orbit establishment. And there we are, in orbit around Kerbin and making our way to Minmus. Now, the inclination can be dealt with two ways. Either we do a burn at the ascending or descending node to fix the 6-degree inclination, or we see if we can't catch Minmus at the ascending or descending node, making the plane change unnecessary. So let's have a look at that. That doesn't quite work out this time around. Let's see. No. No, that would put us. Oh, there we go. We actually do get an encounter 24 days from now. So it's not quite the most. Wait. It's not quite the most expedited way to get there, but it is the easiest, as it only requires one more burn from now. So that is the one we will perform. It happens in 27 minutes, which sometimes just pass like the blink of an eye. The burn is 850 meters per second, of which 50 meters per second has just happened. And while we do this, let me tell you what I'm planning to incorporate in not only this series but all the forthcoming videos, and that is a tidbit of interesting news. Stuff that I find on the internet, can be related to space travel or something else. Today's interesting news, and imagine a trademark icon by that interesting news bit. Today's interesting news is going to be about biology and Brazil in particular. They've done something I had honestly not expected any country or nation in the world to do. This is more like the scheme of a mad scientist or a James Bond villain, but I'm quite excited by it nonetheless. Let's, before rambling on about the interesting news, actually make a Minmus encounter trajectory. Oop. Maybe we can fix that with RCS. We don't have RCS on this one, do we? No, we don't. So we're going to have to turn around. Anyway, what I'm talking about is the release of a veritable swarm of gene-altered mosquitoes. And as you may know, mosquitoes are quite a problem in tropical regions, for they are carriers of nasty diseases like malaria and also dengue fever. And while dengue fever is not always deadly, it's not really treatable, and it's like a supersized version of the flu. If you're in the area, you will eventually get it. You'll have a horrible couple of days, and there's not much you can do about that. So eradicating the carriers of that, the mosquitoes, is thought by many to be a wondrous thing to strive to do. It's something people want, let's put it that way. Furthermore, mosquitoes are one of the very, very few animals or organisms, or indeed anything in the ecosystem, that we so far haven't found a purpose for. I mean, and what I mean by that is, take bees for instance. You might hate them, you might dislike that they can sting you, but they pollinate the flowers, and that's a fairly heavy-handed example, but pretty much everything has a function in the ecosystems, helping something else, or actively eating something that we don't like so much. So for instance, you might not like spiders in your house, but at least they eat mosquitoes, right? So everything does something. Mosquitoes, as far as we know, they don't. You can take them away from an ecosystem and it wouldn't matter. So Brazil is going to try and do just that, which is a bold step, and they are going to do this by releasing gene-altered mosquitoes into the wild that will take up, well, that will compete with the healthy mosquitoes for mating with the females. The genes that have been modified in the, well, let's just call them the mutant mosquitoes, they will render the offspring inviable. They will basically kill the offspring, and by killing the next generation, that, well, effectively gets rid of a lot of mosquitoes, and the generation in mosquitoes is not very long, so the effect will be measurable very, very quickly. The article I read, which I will link in the description for your, let's not forget our mission at hand. The article which I will link in the description doesn't specify what exactly it is they did, but I think what they did is introduce a gene that will have female offspring be sterile or just die, whereas it will be able to produce male offspring with the same hampered gene. And by doing that, you can imagine that all the healthy females will start having either girl babies that will die or just not be fertile, or boy babies that will, well, do the same thing as that was just done to them, so thereby drastically reducing the population of mosquitoes. And apparently there have been some trials, and it has shown that this mutant strain of mosquitoes has the potential to, well, decrease mosquito prevalence by about 90%, which would be huge. People would not get bitten by mosquitoes as much, people would not be kept up at night by mosquitoes buzzing in their ears, and as a side benefit of that, less people would get dengue fever and malaria and die from those horrible diseases. So all in all, it sounds like a brilliant plan. Brilliant plans like that have backfired before. You need only look at Australia. Off the top of my head, I can't really recount all the animals they imported, but they ended up like importing several different species of animals to fix a problem, and then they would become the apex predator because they had no natural competition, and that didn't always go so well for them. That, well, that story could have been fleshed out a little bit better, but I didn't intend on telling it. It just kind of popped into my head, which sometimes happens. Anyway, that's the interesting news for today. Brazil is releasing mutant mosquitoes to, well, basically commit mosquito genocide. We are eco-engineering the planet. Brazil is the first country that actively does it. I mean, species going extinct is nothing new for sure, but actively wiping some species out might be new. I mean, if you don't count bacteria and viruses, that, I mean, we've been trying to wipe those out forever. But you know, actual animals that you can see and that you interact with on a, well, depending on where you live, a daily basis, that has to be new. And well, I think we've got to applaud Brazil for taking the brave steps. And who knows, maybe the next big mutant Godzillas are coming from Brazil. Who knows? Anyway, so much for the interesting news. Expect a story like that with every video from now on. And now, of course, we move on to somewhat more important matters, and that is the landing on Minmus of Sigas. And Minmus's feeble gravity is not doing its job of pulling us down properly, so we are accelerating time. Let's have a look at the materials bay in the meantime. 100 science from space near Minmus. Yes, we keep that. Thank you very much. A crew report. Yes, we did that already. And well, I guess there's nothing to it but do the landing and see if this is a biome that we have not already visited. There is a little bit too much rocket still attached for a clean landing, I think. Would there be harm in trying to balance it on this big engine so as to save more fuel? Well, I'm going to try. If that doesn't work, then we can always ditch the rest of the rocket and, well, take things from there. Minmus gravity is weak enough that if things go wrong, I can just throttle up, ditch the stage and try again later. For now though, let's switch the nav to surface mode and see about reducing our speed a little bit, because we are going a trifle fast. We are T plus 25 days in the mission time. That means in about 5 days we're going to get another launch opportunity, and I'm not sure we're going to take that. I mean, spending some extra time in between launches won't be a bad thing, because, well, then we get sooner to do that. We get to Duna sooner. Well, not actually sooner, but you know, it won't be as many episodes in between us getting to Duna and the ship getting to Duna. I'm rambling, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Disregard that last minute. I will instead focus on the landing, see if I can make that happen with the big honking engine. It will be hard. Control is sluggish with this. We are landing on a fairly flat bit. That should help with the engine balancing. Let me just stress, there's absolutely no benefit to doing this because the fuel in this engine is really a tiny amount. We are saving, oh, it's 70 units. Yeah, sure, okay. It makes sense to do this, I suppose. Will it stay up though? That's the problem. If we leave it like this and Sigas disembarks, it falls over and explodes, then that is a problem. That's certainly not worth the 70 fuels. Okay, I did it. I proved I can land on the engine bell. Now I'm going to separate and land on a more sensible landing leg assembly. No, screw it, we're standing properly, we are landed, that's nice. So let's have a look at the materials bay, how much points we're going to get from this feed. Midlands, we had the midlands already, damn it. Okay, we're going to go somewhere else then. EFS Peregrine. Damn it, where shall we go? Just head north for a bit, go for this plateau, let's do that. I suppose it's a good thing we saved our rocket for a bit. Well, there's that. That's a free 100 meters per second. Let's ditch that. Oh, we have another transfer stage. Wonderful. There we go. Let's see what that projected. Yeah, very good. Add a bit of 270-degree direction in. I'm going to aim for the center of this plateau to land there. And do that through time warping. And I suppose we can try and land on this little strut. Because why not? We are in the business of saving fuel after all. And hey, this well, let's just call it a landing stage, shall we? This landing stage now hasn't been left in space. It's safely crashed on Minmus, which is nice. So I hope this is not going to count as mid-lands also. Oh, I can go outside on EVA and have a look if it will count as mid-lands or not. Let's have an EVA report. Space above the mid-lands, but this report wasn't taken before, so that's fine. Keep the data, and we shall transmit that home. No comms devices. Okay. We shall not transmit it home. We shall take it home instead. A little bit of time warp. This might be a fairly lengthy episode. I hope you don't mind, but I'm lounging and I'm having a good time hopping about Minmus here. And if this is also Midlands, then yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do then. Let's just go outside real quick and have a look. Still Midlands, damn it. So we don't want to land here then. We want to land in that canyon bit. I don't think we can access the science archives from here to actually see which biomes we have visited. That would be nice. I don't even know I don't know Minmus that well, in case it wasn't clear. I have no idea which biomes actually exist and which don't. So let's just do that EVA thing again. I have enough fuel to just always just override and land. Well, the slopes, apparently we have that as well. Does this count as a mountain maybe? No, still slopes. Oh dear, are we now actually secretly crashing? Lowlands, how well did we explore Minmus? Did I just forget everything? It seems like it. Let's keep on going. I'm pretty sure we didn't do the poles. Maybe we did the poles. I have absolutely no idea. So this looks like some kind of plain. It can't be Midlands, can it? Lowlands. Don't care for lowlands. This is probably still lowlands. Yeah. Damn it, I meant for this video to be more interesting and rapid fire. Minmus exploration interspersed with news. Yeah, it's not happening. It's just trial and error above Minmus. It's not even a conversation we're having. I can't ask you for some fun input, can I? It all has to be through YouTube comments, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, I like reading the YouTube comments, but it's not quite real time now, is it? Poles, wonderful. Keep the data, get back on board, and slow that baby down. Does this have lights on it? No, this is an older vessel from the time when lights hadn't been invented yet, so we'll have to read by the torch of our rocket engine. Which is fine. Really it's fine. You don't hear me complaining. Alrighty then. Hey, we have an RCS tank but not the Venturis? That is strange to me. That is strange. Right. Okay. Concentrate. Focus. Coming in for a landing. Let's do that with as much time acceleration as possible to get off this godforsaken rock as soon as we can. Right, that was all the time acceleration I dared do, and we're still only at 30 meters per second. So let's reduce that. And see if we can land this on its transfer stage, I suppose. 20 meters per second. We don't have any lights to make it easier, but then again we are landing just on the sunset or dawn, I suppose. Ooh, there's the ground approaching us rapidly. Hello ground, wanna be friends? Hope so. Yeah, we're friends with the ground, aren't we ground? Wonderful. So let's have a crew report from the poles, keeping that data. And let's have a materials bay as well. Wonderful, 125. Now all we have to do is get outside, get a surface sample, and not knock over the ship while we do it. Look at that, balanced on an engine bell, like we did in the point 10 days, point 11, old days. Surface sample, 150 signs from that. Wonderful. EVA report. Keep that. And this EVA, oh, we already had that. Well, I forgot to plant the flag, but that jump took us all the way back to the capsule, and I'm homesick now, so we are going home. Get inside. Get inside. Even if you knock over the ship, as long as you're inside, you can fire the engines to fix it. Right, we have stored all the experiments. Now we just have to get back to the planet. And to that end, if we had that away, that should work out. And that corresponds to this direction, sort of. I have a feeling I have absolutely plenty of fuel, so I'm not even going to try make this a neat transfer. Just going to rocket off this body as fast as possible. Here we go, 200 meters per second. That's already faster than I can run. And oh right, we're out of fuel. So this is actually going to be a nice piece of orbital debris in a weirdly long orbit. No one would expect to find a transfer stage there, but there we have it, and that's our lander, which is only going to do one more landing ever. Right, let's have a look. Hey, it appears that I eyeballed that. Oh, no, I did not. I was going to say it appears that I eyeballed that return trajectory pretty well, but not really, because pouring on the gas more didn't actually make us any more likely to intercept the planet. So, right, now we turn straight retrograde and just burn until our periapsis appears to be inside of Kerbin. And then we bring home the science and get more nodes unlocked and that kind of stuff, so you guys can make more awesome rockets. Isn't that good? I think that's good. Right, there we go. You can just plummet straight on. Are we actually ascending? Yeah, we are descending. Right. One thing that we have left to do is to take the science from the materials base inside, so that all of it is just safely contained in removing data. All of it is safely contained in the capsule, and that makes everyone's life so much nicer. There we go. Collect the data. Get back on board, and now all we have to do is time warp until we land on Kerbin. Well, that was certainly jerky, and this mission will have taken exactly 30 days plus 3 days. Exactly 30 days plus 3. Isn't that a nice measurement of time? I want to land on this island. I've never landed on this island before. Rockets engage. Landing. Go on. Slow down quicker. I don't think we're gonna make it. I don't think we're gonna make landing on this island. No, no, no. Oh wait, this is nicely made. These are 3 parachute. How many parachutes are these? Lots of parachutes. Lots of parachutes, and they separate, so they all land independently of one another. Which is nice, I suppose, if you don't put the data in the capsule, which we did. Right, we're not landing on those islands, so we can just shut down the engines, quiet that ruckus. Oh, it almost looked like we had clouds, but it was engine trails. Right, Sigas, almost home again. Hope you liked this jaunt to Minmus. And I hope you did as well, dear viewer. And as am I, looking forward to the new science node unlocks and all that good stuff. So 500 meters per second, I think that's a fair altitude to trigger, well, the last stage we have. Here we go. Look at that, everything's entering separately. I like that, it's a nice touch. Right, It's not strictly necessary, but it's a nice touch. I like it. Yeah, physics warp, I've used that. Oh, this is of course a fresh install. Yeah, physics warp, here we go. And even though it has been tested before to safely deploy through the 500-meter death zone, I still don't trust it to do that. So we shall do that at one-time acceleration and then move on to the higher echelons of space-time malleability. Here we go. Splashing down into the ocean, where I'm sure a Kerbal Navy cruiser is waiting to once again retrieve Siga's Kerman. And I will take a second of your attention to note that this space program, currently in episode, well, I don't even remember, episode 17 maybe, has not suffered any casualties as of yet. I stated we have only 10 astronauts to work with, and they're all still alive. 2 of them are on their way to Duna, which I'm sure will be subjected to many hazards, but they are still alive, which is wonderful. And here we have the science. We have 500 points from this little jaunt to Minmus, which we will happily and giddily spend in the research station. Now, I know you want the nuclear engines. They're not even ungraded yet, so no nuclear engines just yet. We can get the very heavy rockets, which will unlock SLS parts, the new ones to play with. That will be nice, but it will also wipe out all our science. We can get this, which is a bigger capsule, which, well, is nice but not quite nice. It's nice but not quite nice. It is not quite essential, but nice. We can get this. I don't even know what this is. And we can get this. Turbojet engines, ram air intakes. This is not something I would never ever prioritize, but many of you viewers have been asking for it, and of course I want to satisfy my contractors. So here goes, high altitude flight ramjet engines. Now show me some planes. What's this? Ooh, the Rapier. I've built absolutely 0 things with it, and I'm hoping you will do some nice things with that. But it's 550 also, which we cannot currently afford. We can afford one of these nodes. I don't like probes. We're gonna do this, the bigger capsule, and hopefully the road to nuclear. And it is the road to nuclear, what do you know. So this is probably the next one up at 300 science. For now though, I'm going to end this episode. I think it has been long enough. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the interesting news. Maybe start a little discussion in the comments or wherever else you like. And as I said, from now on, all videos, at least I will try to have some interesting news to share while we do our rocket burns. So once more, thanks for watching. I'm Lorenzo. See you next time.